I already started it.
What?
It's. We also know that you're late and you're streaming from a bathroom.
I'm not in a bathroom, guys, okay? It's a living room.
Anyways, sorry. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Stand-Up. Today, we are talking about thought-terminating of phrases in software engineering. As you can see, use the right tool for the job. It depends. Premature optimization is the root of all evil, and plenty more. We are going to rank them. Which one is the least to most thought-terminating of them all? F tier obviously being most thought-terminating, S tier being the least thought-terminating possible, the best phrase you can say. Now, not all those phrases are terrible. This is from a long discussion that's been going on Twitter where people were all piling in what they think are thought-terminating phrases. And so with us today, of course, we have Bot, who was late and unprepared. We have with us Trash Dev, who is also super-duper awesome, type Tiro, right?
He wasn't late a minute. Like, not one.
You were late for like 15 minutes.
It doesn't matter. Wasn't Trash late too? I wasn't here, but I'm pretty sure he was.
On time. And of course, Casey Muratori, the actual programmer in this group, real Giga Chad, and ComputerEnhance.com. Check it out. All right, so there we go. We got everybody out of the way. So now we are going to be going through this list, and we are going to be talking about all these different ones, and if you've experienced them now. Casey, you don't work in a professional environment like Trash does. When I say professional, I just mean large stock-traded company that has a bunch of people who've said these phrases. Now, my time at Netflix, I've heard every one of these phrases.
No way. Wow. That can't be true.
Wait, Trash, you're not hearing these phrases?
Half of these.
I actually added this last one, memory is free, due to one of the directors at Netflix saying this about TV and driving people nuts. Because memory was, in fact, not free, and it was very difficult.
Okay, so let's just start
I'm
with
surprised you heard any of these.
You have not heard any of these? What are you talking about?
I've heard half.
Okay, well, let's start with the worst one.
And now you're at half. Like,
sorry. I misspoke. Now I'm saying half.
Well, one of the other phrases. One of the other phrases should have been like, integers. Everything can be represented in an integer.
Let the record show that I said half, and then I said none, and then I said half again. So I flip-flopped.
Round down to zero.
Here we see the elusive programmer, a simple creature that spends most of its time working alone, often in darkness. But what's this? Someone being wrong on the internet. Our coder springs into action, reaching top speeds of 120 words per minute before flash. A light mode website, the natural enemy of these code lovers, stuns our friend. The chase is called off. We'll have to get them next time. When not on their computers, they can spend hours drawing crude symbols on something they call whiteboards. Researchers have discovered thousands of dialects, often with more than a dozen used in a single office. However, no linguist has yet deciphered what their purpose is. Vain creatures, their bodies have evolved over a millennia to be able to sit in unusual postures while looking at themselves online. This will often last for many hours, using the excuse they're waiting for code review, if pressed to why they're so inactive. And finally, after a long day of accomplishing very little, our keyboard warrior's ready for bed. Quick read and it's lights out. Good night, little coder.
So how do I sleep so well at night? Well, I have Sentry to help me crush those bugs. And I'm not talking about like little teeny tiny South Dakota bugs that die in the winter. I'm talking about big, mean jungle bugs. And I'm not scared of any of them, by the way. But I can squash those bugs with Seer by Sentry. Classic round down to zero.
Right.
All right, so I don't really know which one to start on. So
I know what to start with, Prime. You have to start with the worst one. I know the worst one. The one that is...
I think we should start with the most poignant one, the most obvious one. Never do a full rewrite.
Okay, so that's a false statement, right? We agree.
No, I mean that's not like... The problem is, I guess, again, with your tier list, we're trying to say how harmful it is. It's not, because none of these things, you never really want to stop thinking. So you never want any of them to terminate your thinking process,
that's
for
my
sure.
Goal.
Yeah, what are you talking about, Casey? These are goals here.
But, so we're just ranking by, like, how harmful will it be if you terminate your thinking with this thing, right? That's what we're going for. And this one is actually, pretty close to the bottom, I would say, because most of the time you don't want to do a full rewrite. So the chance of that being the right decision is kind of lower than probably what a lot of these other ones would be, my guess. Am I wrong about that?
I am fully on your team. Never do a full rewrite is like by far one of the best phrases ever to say. excluding a few key circumstances.
What are you guys talking about? Well, first of all, I know what's happening. You guys are C++ devs. So you guys aren't changing languages every week, okay? A new language comes out, we have to do a full rewrite. I can't have it be half Rust, half Go. Like, you guys do... Full rewrites is how we sneak Elixir in the stack. It's how we switch...
Okay.
That's why you don't have a job.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I have a job, I'm just late to it.
You have a point there. We have to rewrite everything in Rust right up until Rust isn't the language we're rewriting things in anymore, and then we have to rewrite it in other things.
Uh-oh, I see an F.
Why is Prime saying, oh no?
I heard F from Prime.
Oh, yeah, I personally got F. If I cover up the screen by accident, Again, this is because Riverside won't give me RTMP feeds, but if I cover up Chrome screen, Chrome goes, oh, I can save memory, and will then quit processing, and all the videos chunk up, and then it just gets terrible.
Yep. That's a fantastic Chrome feature.
It is a Chrome feature.
I'm assuming there's a Chrome : / give me the real settings that you can turn that off.
There has to be some knobs.
You're probably right.
You know how they like if the thing with Chrome is if there's ever a setting that's actually useful, they will not put it in settings. It's in Chrome : / like settings or whatever.
Hate it.
Yeah, we're going to get Prime a second monitor.
Right.
Everyone sub so Prime can afford a second monitor, okay?
All right, hey, but seriously, never do a full rewrite. Began, do you actually think that this is a good idea?
Okay, so real quick, I have told people before, I've snuck multiple languages in at companies, and the way to sneak stuff in at companies is you pick a service, a small service in the microservice architecture, and you do a rewrite of it. You say, I'm going to take the logging service, I'm going to do a rewrite of it. Hey, this thing, like, I don't know, checks birthdays, whatever, I'm going to go do a rewrite of it in Zig, or in a quick little full rewrite, and that's how you sneak languages in. How are you guys sneaking languages in at companies?
Don't, because I'm a professional.
Wait. In trash, how are you going to make sure you don't get fired?
By writing it terribly in the same language.
Cool. The old school technique. Okay. You used the old technique. That one still checks out.
Exactly.
There's two schools of thought for not getting fired. And you just did the first school of thought.
Being a TypeScript company and having one service in all Go and you're the only Go developer, good job security. And make sure, don't ever help anyone learn how to use it. It's good stuff.
All right, so never do a full rewrite. So, but as far as like thought terminating, in some sense, there are times where you should do a full rewrite. So by saying this, are you not like effectively stopping the thought process and saying, hey, no, we can't. Oh, geez, you can't suggest something else.
Yeah, I mean, the problem that I see with saying never do a full rewrite, I mean, because the correct phrase would just be rarely do a full rewrite, right? The problem with never do a full rewrite is really the rewrite problem is about losing the sort of inherent structural complexity of the thing that you already have. Because normally what happens is, for a system that's of any sufficient, like doing anything sufficiently complicated, checking birthdays maybe is a good example of something that isn't sufficiently complicated, so maybe I'm with you that we could rewrite that.
What do you mean?
But for anything that has any sufficient amount of development time in it and that has been deployed and has some of that subtlety of like we've actually had to fix the things that are broken and improve the things that weren't working and whatever for a little while, there tends to be actually like baked in knowledge there that no one programmer has completely in their head. And so when you go, if you do a complete rewrite of it, you will be starting without that sort of baked in knowledge, and you end up making the same mistakes again. Or you make mistakes that would have been prevented had you been working in that code base because they would have been obvious right away as you tried to do the thing you were about to do that was a mistake. And so that's really the problem with full rewrites, is that. And so sometimes you're in situations where, like, let's say that the code was written by people who really didn't know what they were doing and it's not working very well. And you've got some programmers who have done that thing before. So they actually have a bunch of experience and kind of know how to do this thing really well. In those situations, a full rewrite may be actually way better, right? So you do have to have some kind of an understanding of exactly what situation you're working in. But if you were the programmers and you've been and this thing's been around for a year or two or whatever, rarely does completely rewriting it rarely is that the right decision in my experience.
What do you mean, you programmers? Are you trying to say that? Are
You.
you trying to say that me and Began wouldn't be equipped to rewrite a service?
Casey is an
No,
engineer.
no, I
okay?
meant you,
I'm not like
meaning-
you programmers.
Yeah, I meant
code
you,
monkeys.
meaning you. Whoever is making the decision, whoever is going to be doing the rewrite, is the same people that did the service in the first place. So you were the ones who worked on this, and you built it in the first place. Usually, you just want to iterate on that and go, okay, we can rewrite a chunk of it. Like we can take a little piece and rebuild that, and then we'll take another little piece and rebuild that. Right? That's a great way to go about moving it forward. Wiping the whole thing, way too risky, and so you have it's rarely the right decision, in my opinion.
So I love the rarely. It'd be great if we made every cliche more subtle and rare, but you got to keep it just never. I will say there is a case, and I've been at companies where there's a piece of code by an engineer that's gone, and they were on something when they were writing it. They were going through a functional phase and experimenting with languages, and they wrote something in a whole new pattern. And then everyone tries and interacts with it, and it's the most painful thing ever to add stuff to. And everyone's learning the ancient magic that Steve added 2 years ago. And then you keep trying to add to it and add to it. And finally, someone says, "Can I just start over now that we know what the product is?" And they start over, and a week later, everyone's like, "It's so easy to add features over here because we're not dealing with Steve's insanity." But the never rewrite can cause people to be stuck in Steve's code forever.
Yeah, I think the problem there is, in addition to like the context problem and potentially the size of the app that you're rewriting, is like you also, depending on how popular your app is or is being used, you have to be able to deliver value while you're rewriting.
Okay, we get it. You work at
like
Netflix.
If you do a full rewrite, you can't build features because you're kind of just screwed unless you want to maintain two versions of it. So I've had those situations where we basically had like a forked version that was like feature flagged while we were like, while like some people were still working on the legacy version, we were working on the new one.
I love
like,
that.
oh wait, you had a new feature? Oh wait, I can't even like merge it because it's a completely different pattern. So you have to like manually rewrite those again. So it's just like a huge like undertaking of like trying to make sure features are being shipped at the same time as a rewrite. Literally the worst thing ever.
All right, so never do a full rewrite. What are we thinking? What tier? I'm saying that me personally, I'm thinking it just falls near C.
I'd put it even lower. Yeah.
D?
Yeah.
I don't think it's harmful at all. I think that's like a pretty good thing.
Like if that was your only
Okay.
thought-terminating cliche that you did, I don't consider you particularly harmful.
Yeah.
All right, we'll put it all the way down in
know,
F tier. Put it all the way
Yeah.
down because I actually agree with that. This is if this was the only one you did, then I think you're pretty much
Yeah, like
you're
that.
good.
Like I'm guessing we probably won't hit another one that has less actual practical downsides than that one. But we'll see. We can move it if if it turns out no, then we'll move it. But
all right, programmer time is worth more than CPU time.
oh god.
I have never heard this statement in my life.
Yes, you've heard a variation of this statement where it's just like this is the developer ergonomics argument, where it's just like you will include the kitchen sink because you wanted to write you wanted to write your code declarative in this one part, but you bloated your app a huge amount. You know, it's Ramda, right? I think it's in TVY.
Yeah.
Ramda, right? I wanted it to be functional, and I want my arity functions. And he's just like, okay, you've just included a whole ass library because somebody didn't want to like write a function that returns a function.
Trash.
Okay.
We bring you over to the Ruby community for one day. You'll be hearing this phrase all the time. When everyone's like, why is this so slow? You go, whoa, chill. Our time's more important than the computers. Relax. Let's write some code.
DHH, who's been on the show with us, will say that like if he was on right now, he'd be like, yeah, that's totally fine, F tier, right? There's many people who that's just their philosophy of how they build things, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, the problem is with this, I think, this idea of like, oh, it's whatever, programmer time is more valuable. People make super slow programs. And then they're just like, dude, I made that really quickly 5 seconds ago. And who cares if you guys are all struggling using it? Get bigger computers. I don't like that attitude. We don't care about performance by default. It's the new problem. These youth. And so
yeah, I mean,
contributes to that.
Part of this is going to be a matter of like what your goal is, right? Because this statement probably makes some sense in a business area where there's low competition, right? Which is a lot of internet business areas. There's a lot of places where there just isn't very much competition and there are like near monopolies on things. And you absolutely can just kind of shovel stuff out and like that's just how it is, right? So I would say like this is one where it really depends on whether you're talking about our goal is to ship quality software, in which case this is very harmful, or our goal is just we're a business and we don't care and like we just need the like bullet points to be there so that the sales team can say that they're there. And so as long as the thing technically does it doesn't matter if it takes 6 years and no one can use it, right? So This is a tough one to place because I think it comes down to what are your goals with what you're doing and what does your business look like, right? So I would say this one and premature optimization is the root of all evil, which I think you said we also have on there. These are both going to come down to that, right, in a lot of ways. But anyway, so I would say this one's probably, I'd put this one mid to high, like B or C tier, personally. But again, of the things that are bad for performance, it's actually at least not as bad as some of the other ones because it's honest. Right? Like the person is not saying that they did a good job or that it's like fine or whatever. They're just saying like, look, I know I'm burning up CPU time and we're just going to pay for more of it or something. Right?
There's a good difference, and I think people are mentioning like premature optimization, the root of all evil, is like the sister cliche to this one. The difference is it has this amazing word there, premature, which implies we're going to get to the optimization eventually. Don't do it now.
Right, exactly.
Don't discuss that one yet. There's too much hilarity in that one.
You got to pair them. You got to pair. I'm saying the problem with this one though is that if it extends forever, we're like, our time's more important than CPU time. And you're like, well, are we ever going to make it better? And you're like, nah, our time's more important than it's. If there's I'm all for the first pass not being that good, but you got to have a time where we make the software good, right? I usually just give it to Teach and say fix this, and then he rewrites it in the new language. The excuse
I hear is like, it's only if we're going to be 100 items. It's not going to be that bad.
Right.
And then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You're like, all right.
Yeah.
All right, there's a lot of items in there now.
But it is true. It is true that 100 items is like a really, like that's one of those great ones where you're like, I'm only iterating over 50 items. It does not really matter. And often the most simple thing being an array is often your best choice in these like smaller item count structures. And so that's why I like putting little hard limits on stuff. You put like a little fail case, panic case where it goes up and you'll hit it in dev mode and you go, okay, there we go. We whoopsie daisied. We can move on. But okay, so I would put this definitely probably in the B tier just because
that seems good.
We see this frequently, but at least it's honest, right? It's just saying, hey, we intentionally don't care. And so it does terminate a lot of thoughts. Now, obviously, GitHub, you still can't type long comments on there, and it's just horrible and slow, but that falls under what Casey said. It's a near monopoly, so it does not really matter. They have no desire or need to make GitHub better. They're just going to make more Copilot.
Yeah, it's like when you make software, step one, start a monopoly. Duh, start from the monopoly, then make the software. You're just going to like be competing with people? Seems like a waste of time.
True. All right, here we go. Let's pick one, I think. This one, okay, so this one's interesting. Don't repeat yourself. I'm not really sure how this falls under this category of thought terminating things because this kind of feels like thought filled things.
Yeah,
dude, I hate that phrase so bad.
Well, it was there's eras of don't repeat itself, I will say, and like I would say maybe 10 years ago, it was everyone. I was not allowed to repeat myself. I was not allowed to. Everyone above me was like, "What are you doing? Stop! You just wrote the same thing twice. Oh my god, we have to refactor. It has to have." And then I think everyone got over that as time went on, and we said, well, what abstractions do we make? 1,000 million stupid abstractions. So I feel like this was when I was a kid. This was hot. This was all anyone said, and I would never let the same thing happen.
Yeah. This is actually a really big thought terminating one because I can't tell you how many arguments I've had where people are like, oh, we got to refactor this to make it into something where we don't repeat ourselves. And I'm like, well, but right now it's simple. And if I combine these two thoughts that are very similar, it's going to just make kind of a hellish config that I'm going to have to pass in to kind of swap between these almost near identical behaviors.
Yeah, you know what happens? Like you'll make some kind of function or whatever. Your teammate will be like, "Hey, that looks like it would be helpful to me or somebody one day. Let's make it reusable." And then you make it reusable, and then no one ever reuses it, and it just sits in a fucking util folder for like 20 years. Dude, I hate this.
You know what's even worse is that after it gets moved to the util folder, no one can find it, and so there's like 7 versions of that same damn function.
Literally my life,
dude. Literally
my life. I hate it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. Don't repeat yourself. I feel like that's like an S tier level. Like, stop thinking.
Yes, well, I've been at companies where it's like we make a util folder, you make a util library for the company, and then you make some stupid implementation for the simplest little function you've ever done, and then someone makes a variation of that function, and they go, oh, we have to combine them. And then they spend all day talking about how do we combine these two functions that are in 2 different services using a util library. You go, make another function? That's 3 lines long. He goes, no, we will debate. How can we get these? And it's a waste.
So I guess I'm the odd man out on this one.
Casey's disappointed in our conversation.
Well, it's more. I mean, I guess I can kind of see. So I do think that maybe we can make like a happy medium here and just say, when you're talking about a team of people, I can see why don't repeat yourself is annoying, because it's like, well, had I wanted to merge these two code paths, I would have, right? And so if someone else is telling me to merge them and I didn't think they should be merged and they're using TRY to be the reason to do that, yeah, I'd be pissed about that, I guess. So I totally am with you on all of that. But I just wanted to add the caveat that, like, when I'm actually just programming and we're just talking about when I'm writing code, I'm not talking to someone else about it, I often will just try to make sure that things are done usually only once. Like, that's how I'm normally looking at things. Like, anytime I see myself do something twice, I put that into a function that I can call to do that thing. And, like, so I don't want people to get the impression that somehow you're just supposed to be, like, one of the things that I hated most about when you guys were showing me AI code is it doesn't ever do that. It just spams everything everywhere. And I'm just like, this is horrible. And, like, the number one thing I would have said to one of those bots was DRY, man. Like, why are you computing the distance the same way in 50 different places? Just make a freaking distance function and it won't do it, right? So I just want to make sure that's, like, that it is an important thing. It just might not be a great thing for when you're arguing with people about code.
Okay, so first of all, Casey does the thing that Casey and Tej always do this. I got to represent the dumb people out there. He's always like, I don't understand. You guys repeat yourselves? Oh, I didn't know that was a thing that you're doing. I just don't do that. Don't write code. Like, I think the difference is if it's your code and you're in charge, it's all good. There's a lot of us idiots out there writing code, and we're told, hey, refactor that, combine that. I got a function over here.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I totally get that. I totally get that. Like, that if someone's telling you that and you didn't think so, like, you looked at the code and you're like, I don't think these should be merged. And someone was like, no, you got to because DRY. I could totally, like, as I said at the start, I totally get why that sucks.
Well, I think there is another part of this too. Like, because for the AI side, I think it's good that AI duplicates a bunch of functions and doesn't try and refactor stuff until you tell it to. I would rather it spam functions until we've gotten to something I like, and then I can start saying, okay, let's start creating the right abstractions. Because we know if we refactor, if you say, like, I don't know, I need a distance function right now, and it goes, well, we actually don't know all what we're doing yet. You actually might be pigeonholing AI into a corner where if you say, do this dumbest, long, annoying thing that we know is right, and then we will talk about combining after. I think that's a good way to talk to the AI. Who's my friend? So AI out there.
I mean, only if the AI is like an absolutely remedial programmer that I have to babysit, which is the whole reason that I don't like these things, right? It's because it's like I have to spend more time telling it to do obvious stuff. So, yeah, I mean, if it programs like a beginner, and beginners repeat themselves a lot, which is why I wanted to say, like, DRY is not really that bad of a guiding principle if you're using it for yourself. But there, so as an argument, it's maybe not as good. But as a, like, thing you should think about, it's not bad. That's the only caveat I'd add. So that's it.
All right, Prime, where are we putting it?
All right, we can drop it one level, A.
Okay, I like that. It's high. It's not A. Okay.
A lot of people work in teams. I'm not sure how much. I don't know what the solo to work in teams number is. Like, I don't know what that ratio is, but I feel like a lot of people work in teams, so therefore we'll use it in that kind of way. Okay, we'll move on. Okay, the right. This one is my personal gripe, which is use the right tool for the job. Now, me personally, I put this all the way up here at S tier. Let me give you a quick reason why.
What does it even mean? Can you tell me what it even? I don't even know what that means.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. So let's just say that you're about to build a brand new web application.
Okay.
And it does not matter. Like, I noticed that I didn't give any requirements or anything. There is already people that saying the right tool for the job is going to be, you're going to want to be using X database. You're going to want to be using this, what is it, clerk for authentication. You're going to want to be using TypeScript full thing.
#ad.
Like, they already know all the things in, like, a vertical right away with zero thought actually put into it. There's no, like, hey, what are you building? Oh, you're building an internal tool? What are you building it in? Oh, okay, it's in, like, people just pick the default thing that they really like. Really, what the phrase should be is, I use the tool I like the most for any job.
No, Prime. You're completely wrong. Okay, so what I do is I always use the right tool for the job. So if I'm programming code, I use Rust because it's memory safe. So unless you like memory safety, well, it's a big problem. So that's the right tool for the right job. Unless you are making memory unsafe code, then you should use C. Those are the only two tools, right?
Okay, so basically what you're saying is this phrase, it doesn't really mean use the right tool for the right job. It secretly means something more like premature tooling is the root of all good, is what they're saying.
Yes.
Like pick the tooling right out of the gate and you're good. Don't bother waiting till you know what you need. Like, it's just whatever is hot that week, that's what we're going with.
It's because
That
all
kind
these
of thing.
folks are just making CRUD apps, so it's like cookie cutter. You know what
Okay,
I'm
Trash,
saying?
there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
CRUD apps, okay? And the world
Yeah,
needs
Trash.
them, all right? You know that millions of people rely on CRUD apps a year to feed their families. So don't talk down on it.
I
Look at
love
Netflix.
eating CRUD.
All right. Yes. Anyways, I hate this phrase. I see
Okay.
it most often. It is just a way in which people, they don't actually mean the right tool for the job, because there are plenty of great
I see.
abstractions out there, and sometimes Rust is a really great choice for a language. I am going to throw it out there. Like there's a certain set of problems that I actually really like it for. And guess what? It won't be used because people will be like, oh, we're going to use the right tool for the job, which typically, at least in my experience, means web dev chooses TypeScript to solve all problems on Earth, including how AI is now becoming solved via TypeScript right now. There's a big push to try to make AI happen in TypeScript as opposed to Python. And so it's just like, okay, this is not the use the right tool for the job argument. This is just simply, I love TypeScript. I will make it work in all aspects.
Yeah, S tier is
Okay.
the worst,
I'm
most
all for
evil.
it.
Well, so this one is useful if you have an agenda, right? Now, once again, I have an agenda when I work. I'm trying to sneak code, different languages into the code base. This is how you sneak a language into the code base. This is literally how you do it. You're doing something in TypeScript. You're looking for any problem. Like I'm looking for any problem I can. Then I can say, only Rust can fix this. Only we have to get Rust. It's the right tool for the right job. Come on, manager. You gotta let me rewrite. You gotta let me rewrite. So this is a actual tech. I've used this to get Go into a stack that was all Python. I'm dying in Python, and I'm like, we need the right tool for the right job. It's too slow, guys. It's concurrency. Go's whole language was built around a concurrency model. It's the right tool for the right job. And they go, fine. So it is useful for accomplishing your own goals of sneaking languages and stacks.
Well, the Python to Go train is actually a pretty good.
That's
refactoring
exactly
step.
how we did
actually-
it.
It actually is the right tool usually for the job whenever you do high computation stuff.
Gotcha.
All
Okay.
right. No one has any opinions on that one?
I got nothing.
All right, Biggin, you're saying you don't want. Oopsies, wrong.
No,
one.
I get that it's an S tier bad thing to be using. I would just use it for its bad thing. That's what I'm saying. I'm the
He's
one that
saying it's
uses
S tier bad, and he loves that.
Yes, and I use it for its evil.
Yeah.
It's evil, and I am evil. No.
All right. Well,
Sorry,
we'll go
Norm,
on
my
then.
candle
All right,
wobbling.
it
I'm in my
depends.
mom's house.
It depends.
I hate to be meta, but I mean, it depends on the context.
Yeah.
Here.
Doesn't it depend? It always depends, Brian.
It always depends, you know?
I mean, that's got to be F tier because that's the right thing for that's true of most things.
Like, what do you want to eat for dinner? I don't know. It depends. What you got?
Yeah.
You know? What are my
Daybird.
choices?
The answer is always Daybird if I'm in LA. That's what I want for dinner. I want Daybird.
Oh, there you go.
I
Done.
don't even know what Daybird is, but I will have it next time I'm in LA.
Dude, it's so good. Oh my god. Like, hashtag ad, Daybird is the most amazing. It's the most amazing chicken sandwich you've ever had, or the most amazing fish sandwich you've ever had. Your choice. They do. Both of them are amazing.
Casey, you could have hit him right there with the best chicken sandwich or fish sandwich. What do you want? It depends.
It depends.
Like, you could have hit him.
It depends on which one you want. Anyway.
All right. So we're saying because I mean I hear this
Yeah.
phrase,
Whoa.
and this doesn't really feel like a thought-terminating phrase. People
No, you
usually
are
say
so
it
wrong,
depends.
Prime. You guys are, this is the problem. Prime worked at Netflix where there was no juniors. So you've never had this junior-senior hierarchy. I've had seniors I've worked with who don't want to talk to me anymore because I'm annoying. So they just use it depends until I go away. Like, hey, should I do this? Well, it depends. Okay, well, how do I decide here? Well, are you using this or that? Well, this. Well, so what should I use now? Well, it depends. Are you doing, and they just won't ever give me an answer until they just kick me off. It is literally like you can cut people off. It depends. Go figure it out for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, good. Like, it's hey, junior programmer, go figure it out. That seems like a
They're
good
supposed to
learning,
tell me what to
that's
do.
a learning experience.
If I'm
Yeah, that actually sounds like a thought-inducing phrase, not a
Yeah.
thought-inhibiting phrase.
I'm the one
Yeah.
who has to think, though. That's the problem. Give it to me. I want them to tell me.
Just tell me what to do.
You're like, I thought the point of a senior programmer was just to tell me exactly what to type in so that I don't have to think about it.
I always have it depends as a mode to never get anything done. as like you can discuss ad infinitum like you get problem masturbation going on where you just can discuss forever about a problem without anything because everything is just like a continuous, like no one makes a decision because there's always an it depends.
Well, maybe that could be a reason to put it up one from where it is. Like maybe there is like a case where it depends becomes like a what's the difference? What's the opposite of a virtuous cycle? A death spiral? Like it keeps
a sex spiral.
A bald eagle sex spiral.
Yeah.
So maybe. All right, that's good.
All right. Are you ready? Let's see. Make it work. Make it right. Make it fast.
Yeah, that one's ridiculous. The
Ridiculous.
The problem with that one is, like most of those kind of sayings, it completely removes the act. It pretends that software development works in a way that it absolutely doesn't work, right? So making something work correctly, there is no difference between that and making it fast in terms of the actual structural requirements of the thing. So this bakes in, this is very similar to premature optimization is the root of all evil. It misses the fact that optimization is something that has to be planned for throughout the entire process if you ever want to make something fast. So making something work, the idea that there is a step of making something work with no regard to how it will have to run at the end, the only time that's actually a step in the process is if you literally have no idea what you're doing. Like I don't have any idea how this problem gets solved, so I just have to kind of go over here and just like play around with it for a little while until I can actually make something that solves it. If you're in that situation, sure, then this 3-step process is correct. But most of the time, it's like, okay, I know how to like sort a list of names or whatever it is. We all know ways you could do that. So me just sitting down and typing in one of those that works is not actually useful. What I'm supposed to be doing is going, what do I actually need to be delivering? What are the requirements for that structurally? Then I'll make it work, but that has to be in that structure that can be optimized properly later, right? And so the make it work part, if what you meant by that was make it work in a structure that can be optimized properly, then sure. But if it's just make it work, like do anything at all, that's just a waste of time. All you were doing was just screwing around at that point, and that's not actually useful. So this one's tough for that reason. And the way that I see it used is usually in the wrong way, meaning I usually see it used in the way that I don't approve of, even though, like I just said, there is a way I could imagine that it being... Like, there's ways you can modify it so that I do approve of it. Does that all make sense?
Yeah. Trash probably knows really well right now being at Netflix. Hey, Trash, how often do you get to make it right versus make it fast? I'm pretty sure your job, right, is the culmination of make it work for many, many years, and now they're like, okay, make it fast.
Yeah, we pretty much, at least, I mean, my whole career is let's just make it work, and then let's just hopefully it goes. So I feel like, especially like in the UI space, it's really hard to be like, there's never been a concrete recipe to do something, so it's always been stumbling through, and then when it actually kind of works, you're like, all right, then let's kind of like pick up the pieces as we try to tackle some tech debt. But like, if I'm doing more like scripting, like Bash and like Node stuff, then yeah, I can definitely I can make it right immediately. But if it's like UI, UX stuff, like that's like, you're just like effing around and finding out that whole time, like for sure. So I feel like in my space or like in the UI space, it's kind of hard to be like, I haven't met anyone that was like, yeah, I know exactly how to do that. If it's like, especially if it's like a brand new like user flow or something, it's never straightforward like that, if that makes sense. I don't know if you can relate to that, Prime.
No, the only time
aren't you trying to fix the whole like TypeScript compilation? Like
I hate
the
that.
LSPs never ever work. The last time I opened up TVUI, which is granted, it's been 2 years. I even tried VS Code, and it would work for like one completion, stop for like 20 minutes, and then start again, and then stop again, and then start again. It's just like it never worked ever. And I was just like, okay, it's gotten so big and so unwieldy. And so that's the whole make it work without any consideration to the whole make it fast side of things.
Right.
Well, I think it's the
Because
big
you never need the return types. Don't return types. That would be terrible. But it turns out that's like a huge performance win. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. And all those things add together into this just giant mess where it's like impossible or untenable to actually fix.
And I would actually add one thing to that if I could. which is that the problem with make it work, make it right, make it fast, also it puts things in an order that almost encourages your organization to shoot themselves in the foot. Because as soon as you have something that works, someone will start using it. Yes. Which then precludes your ability to change the API to make it right and to make it fast. So like a lot of times, like the last thing you want to do is have a version that works properly, but that is wrong and slow. Right?
Never let management get that. They will
because
never
as soon
get
as someone gets a hold of it, now they base the whole thing on it. And I think all of us have probably been in that position where we were like, wait, no, don't keep using that. And they're like, sorry, man, it's like the entire infrastructure now. And you're like, okay, that's really bad, right? So I think, again, like this one's pretty bad. It's a lot worse than it sounds, I think, in practice, because it sounds perfectly reasonable. You're just like, well, yeah, of course I got to get something working before I can like debug it and make it work well, and then before I can make it fast. Like that all makes sense. But I think it hides the real danger of this one. So I think this one's pretty bad. I'd put it at least at a B.
Okay, so Casey, I do disagree with you, and I think this is always the thing of like Casey being smart and working with smart people, and it's like when everyone's smart and awesome in software, you shouldn't have to worry about these things. I've had this problem specifically where you have a senior engineer who works from home, who comes into the office once a month, who only has to submit a PR every 2 months that he merges in thousands of lines of codes for rewrites. And he'll go off in a direction and be like, oh, we need this. Great. I got an idea for it. I'm going to build the crate. And you're like, oh my God, dude, we just need this fixed right now. Just make it work. Make it good. I'm building the greatest thing ever. It'll go so fast. And we're going to waste 2 months while this person tries to boil the ocean. And we're just like, dude, just make it work right now. Please, please, please. We can make it better later. This does happen. And this phrase has helped me in my own life. I think the difference is that some people only work in one of these slices. Like Trash was saying, for years, you're only making it work. And then you got a performance engineer coming in, and they're only doing the make it fast. And someone comes in, and they're here to refactor, make it good. But if you're going to do all the steps, and you are going to have time to I'm going to spike something, I think make it work is like spiking, like you were saying. That's a good use case. And then from here, we can write the code good. I just know, I know senior engineers who disappear for a month and come back with, here's a new library I invented and a whole new paradigm. We're like, this is terrible, dude. We just needed the birthdays.
Well, yeah, but that's going to be true of any process, right? Like, no matter what you say your process is, someone can just suck at it, right? And then but that doesn't really invalidate the fact that when people are doing something properly, that would be the right way to do it, right? Like, no matter what we pick, you're going to have something that's like you could tell someone, hey, look, just give me a version of this that works at all. And they'll come back with something that's like so bad that it's completely unusable, but they're just like, no, sometimes it kind of works when you sort of call it, right? You can always imagine like a failure case, but I'm just saying like in this particular case, when you're saying this phrase, what you're usually talking about is deferring any of the actual work that needed to be done until some later date. And like, that's usually not a great idea. If, replace it with just something like, if you are desperate and need something working right now, just be like, make a prototype or whatever. Like, that's what we're doing. We're just making a stand-in thing because that's all we can afford. And just admit that you're doing that. Don't claim that somehow you're going to turn that into a right fast version later, because that's a lie. So just be like, no, all right, we're making a crappy version. We'll make the crappy version. That should be the saying. Make a crappy version. There, I don't have a problem with that. If that's the only thing you can do it. Sure. Right?
Okay, so
but don't lie about it.
We could either do make it crappy, make it fast, make it good, or I think a good one we could do is we could say make it work, parentheses, but please don't ship it, or let management know that we finished the feature, comma, make it fast, make it good. We just can't. Well, it would be,
if you wanted an accurate one, it'd be make it crappy, throw it away, make a working one that's the fast structure but slow, make that right, and then optimize it so it is fast. That's like the actual thing that happens, right? Anyway, We've got it tier listed, so I think are we happy with
a B?
Are we happy with B?
Where are we at?
All right, I'll take
where's
it.
At?
It's in a B.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take it.
All right, YAGNI, you ain't gonna need it. You aren't gonna need it.
It's literally the ultimate self-terminating cliche. Like it is
I don't know that one.
Oh, really,
Wait, which
Casey?
one did you read?
Yeah,
No.
I've actually never had it. I've never used it in any sort of professional setting.
God, we're in different worlds. This is where you're saying, hey guys, like we keep doing this thing. I'm gonna build a library over here that can handle these birthday conversions, and then they go, YAGNI, you're not gonna need it. You're wasting your time writing that. Just get back.
I don't even see that on the list.
Oh, it might be on.
Speaking, have you ever worked somewhere that doesn't revolve around birthdays? Every example so far has been birthday.
He worked at
he does all the bee
birthday.com.
jobs. We've already
listen.
discussed this. He brings balls. He's a best boy. He handles birthdays. He does all the bee jobs.
Yeah. At Ticketmaster and Spotify, my job
All the bee
entirely
jobs,
was
for
birthday
sure.
experiences. I got poached from Ticketmaster to Spotify to handle birthdays. They were like, "Dude, you're killing
Are
it
you
over
kidding
there."
right now?
Yeah, no, I'm joking. But
Oh, that would be so cool. It was like, yeah, we need a birthday guy. Can you guys, hey, recruit AHR? You got to get us a birthday guy. We're dying over here. Galactus isn't
We'll
working.
put that on my resume.
Yeah. All right.
That's pretty good.
All right.
Okay,
I don't know this one, so I got nothing.
Yeah, I got nothing.
none of you have ever heard this. Chat, you guys have heard this phrase, right? You guys live
I've
in a
never heard of
different
it.
world. You've never heard YAGNI.
What was the phrase? You said you aren't going to
You
need
ain't
it?
gonna need it is the classic thing.
You ain't going to need
You
it.
ain't gonna need it. He put you aren't gonna need it, which sounds
You
funny.
aren't
Anyways,
gonna need it. You ain't gonna
I'm gonna
need
put it
it.
at, can I just put it at
Yes,
a D?
absolutely. I have.
Throw it on there anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know this one. Sorry,
No one
we
knows.
gotta move on. Also, by the way, I have to go pick up my daughter here in 10 minutes. Began, thanks for taking the first
Oh
15
my
minutes.
god! That's
Oh my
just
God.
have her on the
We're never getting through
podcast.
this. We're never
I
getting
know.
through it.
All right, keep going faster.
All right,
What is that?
premature optimizations is the root of all evil. Casey, I already know you have a strong feeling on this one.
I mean, that's
Probably around
S.
there.
That's like it's never correct. Like you never say that. It's a meaningless statement because it is baked into it the fact that somehow you already know when you should optimize, because premature could be any point in the process. So it's a non-statement. It tells you nothing, and yet people say it as if it's telling you something. Worst one probably by far.
Agreed.
You both think it's, oh my god, this is the one I was like, well, that's the only really good one. I was like, that's F tier. Literally, that was my
It doesn't
line.
mean anything. Nobody. When is premature? It could be like right at the beginning of the project might be the right time to do something. So it doesn't tell you anything. It's like
How
a
can you
non-statement.
optimize something that isn't working yet? How can you optimize something that we don't have data on how it's being used by the customers?
Who knows? Because it doesn't say. The statement does. It just says premature. So all it's saying is like that if you magically knew when the right time was, that's when to do it. Yeah, no shit. Like obviously that's the case. It tells you nothing. It is a non-statement, and yet people use it as if it means never optimized your code, which is a weird thing. So yeah, the statement doesn't even get used with its own meaning. So it's horrible. Like it should just be retired.
So your whole problem is we just don't know when the word premature occurs. If we can pinpoint...
I mean, do you? What's premature versus not?
mature happen?
Premature often occurs when your service is falling over in production due to traffic and it's costing way too much, and management's super upset at you.
Yeah.
Like that's as
Very
far as I can
reactionary.
tell. Is until the uppers go, why is this costing this many zeros?
Yeah,
Fix it
yeah.
now. And it's just like, okay, premature has now officially left. We are now
Yeah, yep. We have proof that
matured.
premature is not happening anymore.
Yeah, there's like a series of people that can be mad at you. Anytime they're not mad at you, that's premature. So once
Right, there you
billing's
go.
mad at you, once security's mad at you, once the customers are mad at you, once management's mad at you, we've hit mature. And so now it's time to optimize. But do not
Next
optimize
one.
something unless someone's yelling at you. That makes no
My
sense.
God. Ugh. All right.
You're really ruining Casey's morning. All right, you just need to be disciplined.
I don't know that one.
Dude, if someone said that to me, they get hit in the face.
I thought you were a jujitsu guy. I thght you'd get on the ground and
Yeah,
get
throw
over
him,
here.
throw him.
I'm
Throw
gonna
him.
put them in a rear naked choke. It's like, excuse me, I need to be what?
Why do you have to be naked to put him in a chokehold?
It's a rip. Shut up.
Because you can get closer to
You're
the skin.
naked, okay? The arm is naked.
Skin to skin contact, just like a baby and their mother. That's how I like it.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
not a
so-
programming statement. This one was on that list that went viral, and I was like, "Are people saying this?" It's that I don't hear people. No one said this to me.
I think this is like a shot at C. Being like,
To me,
you wouldn't
that
have
would
a
be
problem.
S, because that would stop all my thoughts. Because I'd be so pissed if you said that to me.
He would instantly fight. So that's S. Okay, great.
Yeah, I'd be
okay,
like,
yeah.
that's like fighting words. Like, what do you mean I need to be disciplined?
To
And then
me, that's
Trash
what that
immediately
says
gets
is-
naked and puts you in a chokehold.
Don't make me. I'm
Yeah,
not coming.
yeah.
Hold on, let me get my shirt off.
The hoodie's coming
going
off.
skin to
It's
skin,
coming
baby.
off.
All right,
I would
well,
encourage everyone in chat to look up General Butt Naked right now, a real historical figure for whom this was true.
All right.
I'm on my
that's
work computer.
exciting.
Can I actually Google that?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it's real historical figure. Like there'll be a Wikipedia entry.
General butt naked?
Yes.
All right, we got. Well,
I am
remember-
way too
Next
scared to hit
one.
enter
Next
on
one.
that
While he
one.
does.
Hit it.
All right,
Hit it,
best
Trash. Do it.
practices.
Use my phone. I'll use my phone.
Best practices. Now, I got one for you guys. I was in the process of making a thing. This was with a certain aspect of where Trash currently works, and I named my private variables without an underscore. and we had like multiple days long thing, even though it was marked private in TypeScript. And if you used it in TVUI, it would say, hey, you can't use this because it's private, all that good stuff. They're like, well, you have to put underscores because it's best practices. And I'm like, but why? It doesn't make any sense. Like, why do you need underscores? Because it's best practices. It's not even a thing. And so then it became this whole argument where the reason why I had to go back through and underscore things was because of best practices. But there's no actual thought there for me. So for me, best practices go way high just because of my negative
I'm fine
experience.
with that.
It's just, it feels like something
do.
people say to propel on something that used to happen without any reasoning or measurement why. Like I had another one where someone told me that I had to do it, like it was like literally a year-long project that ended with me going, actually, if we would just write the thing normally, it would be way better. And all of these best practices you stated actually were completely false and under misunderstandings. And that's that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem we have in computing is like none of the best practices are like from a science. Like they're not things that people have proven. They're just something that somebody said and like got popular because there was a book or whatever. So like best practices usually just means like witchcraft or voodoo. It's like a thing, like we waved this dead chicken around and we think that makes the code better. So I hate best practices as a phrase. It's not so much that I don't think it would be great if we had best practices that were actually best, but the problem is that's never how it's used. It's used for like stupid stuff.
Yeah, what we do is we avoid that whole argument, and if we feel strongly enough about it, we'll write our own custom lint rule and just enforce it with tooling, and then call it a day. Like, don't even ask me. Like, if we care strongly about it, our tooling will do it for you. So,
well, my favorite thing is some people will tell me I'm doing some front end, I'm trying some React, I've got TanStack, Hana, 1,000 things, and they're like, well, here's the best practices. I always ask the same thing: what were the best practices last month? And they go, it was totally different last month. And I go, the month before, what was it? And he goes, so they're different every month. And it goes, you get a new set of best practices every month, and you get to upgrade. It's really fun.
That sounds like just a fun way to build a business.
Yes.
All right, real programmers don't make that mistake.
those are fighting words. Oh my gosh.
That's a tough one because they definitely don't. But like that's not helpful. Like it's like, okay, so they definitely don't make that mistake, but you obviously did, so this is not helpful.
That is S tier for sure, right? Because that's just like a showstopper.
It just is more antagonistic. It doesn't actually deliver any real value.
No, yeah. Maybe A list because it's so bizarre.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you got to bully the juniors a little bit. The first time they drop a database, that's a good time to haze them. And that's when you hit them with this phrase and you get them down. And then you
say that to me, I'm getting naked.
Trash.
I'm jumping right on you.
I think the worst, the one that's worse than that's related would be I don't make that mistake. Because then if I'm arguing for that, like I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I don't, but like what difference does that make to the other people in this discussion, right?
No, that is very, very true. All right.
So
fast, cheap, good. Pick any two. Is this even a discussion you get, Casey? Is this something you're even familiar with where you're at?
That is the one
that
I like probably have heard more than you guys, I'm guessing. Because that comes from hardware, the hardware world. And it's totally true. That's just, I'd put that in F immediately because that's just accurate.
We found one real one. This is great.
Yeah. I actually largely agree with this one. You can't really do something fast and good. Well, I mean, the only problem is that you can't really pick fast and good, can you? Like, can you actually say, hey, we're going to write this software fast and we're going to write it good?
Well, okay, to be fair, it's, again, more from hardware. It's like, look, you can have a fast good thing, but it will be very expensive, right? It's your NVIDIA 5090. We used the reticle-sized die, and we made this gigantic honking thing that cost $1 billion, right? So it's usually more that way. In software, because we're so bad at it, I agree. It's less relevant in software, perhaps, because we still won't be able to make the fast good one, no matter how much money you give us. But, aspirational fantasy, I guess.
I feel like with software, it's going to be under-delivered, over-promised, expensive, and not that good.
So maybe move it up. Maybe move it up to D. Let's move it up to D just because it's software. In hardware, it would be down at the bottom.
Yeah, that's because there's real numbers you can play with there.
Well, this phrase is actually very, very incredibly useful when you're talking to management sometimes, because the cheap is one of the most important things that I've come up where it's like, guys, cool, I know you want this. You see the cheap one right there? It's going to take a minute, and it's going to cut. We're going to have these 4 devs on it, and it's, or we're going to have to beef up this part of the cloud or whatever. This has been a helpful phrase I've used fighting with management to do code correctly or get more time. It's been helpful, not thought terminating.
Yeah. Well, it's thought terminating in the sense that you want management to stop being like, just do it. It's easy. Let's go. You're like, no, actually, it's really, really hard. And you're giving me a 4-person job and you want it done quick. Like, this is going to be bad.
I mean, part of the problem is that in software, when we think of cheap, what we're thinking about usually is how much developer hours it took or whatever.
Right.
And unfortunately, in software, we have mythical man month problems where it's like the more people you add to a team, like the slower the development goes and stuff like that. So it's hard for us to go like, unlike hardware where there's a physical cost. So we're normally talking about the physical cost of the thing. There isn't that like sort of direct relationship of spending more money and getting more. In software, we don't really have that, unfortunately, right? But yeah, so that's why this phrase is maybe not as good in software, but still less harmful than a lot of the other ones.
Well, unfortunately, I do have to go. So, hey, everybody, that was a fantastic stand-up. I'm sorry that we had to end it so abruptly. Thanks, Beacon. But I'm kidding. Beacon is awesome.
No, it's my fault.
This was actually really, really good. I actually pretty much agree with everything here, and I've heard most of these phrases, so it's fantastic to see them here. So thank you very much, Casey.
Are all of them ranked?
We have a ranking.
Ranked.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so hey,
rank them as
take
we
a
went.
screenshot of that, put it on
Great
Twitter.
work,
Everyone
everyone.
argue with it in Twitter.
Great
Say what
work,
you think's
everyone.
right. We did it.
We did it.
We did it. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope everybody enjoys their day. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, chat.
Boot up the day, vibe coding, errors on my screen, terminal coffee in hand.